What is going on, everyone? Got a pretty cool video for everybody. This is the Quinjet from Avengers. I picked this up at the thrift shop a little while back, put it together. It was pretty much brand new. It was in the box. All the bags were sealed except bag number 1, and I was lucky enough to have all the pieces. It did not have the instruction manual in that box. It did turn up actually in a separate bin like weeks and weeks later from that same thrift shop. So that was neat, but I put this together before I had found that. There's the box. It was a little beat up, but I mean, to find a set at the thrift shop is cool in itself. To find it in box is even cooler. And when you open that box and pretty much all the bags are sealed, that's almost unheard of. I think I paid like 30 bucks for this. I think I had a coupon, probably got like 25% off. So that made it even sweeter of a deal, and I couldn't have been happier or more impressed. This is a pretty cool build. If you follow my Instagram, you may have seen a while back when I picked this up, a couple photos from the build process and as I was putting it together. And I had to use the instructions from Lego's website. They're free to access, which is awesome. I love that feature. I hope Lego never gets rid of it. It's really helpful, and it's an awesome thing that they do for their fan base and for their customers. Diving right into some of the details, I gotta say it's a pretty big build. I didn't expect it to be this big when I started building it, but happy with the size of it. It's definitely got a presence. The camera doesn't do it justice. There's a lot more color there than it lets on, and you'll see that in some of the other angles coming up here. Tons of playability. You got a bunch of hatches and windows and compartments that open and swing and shoot. It's got stud shooters. It's got so much going on, and it's a really neat build. Taking a look at the back, you got thrusters. It's pretty convincing as to what it's supposed to be. That back hangar bay door, whatever you call that, folds down. There's actually a little motorcycle in there as well. This is another angle, and you kind of get an idea of just how big it is. It's a really neat looking build, and they did a good job with this one. I don't know when it came out. I imagine somewhere around when the Avengers movies were coming out, and was happy to have found it. It wasn't on my radar back then, but I'm glad I have it now. Definitely swooshable, as you saw there. It's got playability. It's got a bunch of cool minifigs. I forget what these guys are called, but you get 2 of them, and they're pretty detailed. As with a lot of the Marvel figs, they tend to have a decent amount of detail. These guys are pretty neat looking. Honestly enough, the only piece in the entire set, other than the stickers and the instruction manual that was missing, is one of those little gold pieces that was on the side of that buildable weapon for those guys. And that's it. So all in all, complete build, like 99.999% complete. So couldn't be happier. You got Black Widow. She looks awesome. All these figures have an alternate face print on the backside of the head. I just chose the ones that I thought were the most fitting of their characters. Back printing looks good. No arm printing, but still decent figures. You've got Hawkeye. This is the one with the darker hair. I've seen him in some of the newer series figs with some lighter hair. It's just a different version, I guess, of the character, but he looks pretty good. He's got the quiver on the back. It's covering it, but he's also got back printing. They're in those Avengers suits that they wore in the movies. You got Rocket. He's got a weapon. He's got the little legs. They don't move. And with the weapon and the tail, even though he's got the tail, that weapon still makes him a bit front heavy, so he is likely to tip over. Thor, I think, is my favorite out of all the figures. He just looks great. I love the eyes. There's a glare on the camera, or from the camera, that is kind of taking away from it. So I'll try and give you a few angles, but the eyes look great. He's got these blue eyes with the lightning. He's got Stormbreaker. He just looks amazing. I couldn't be happier with this figure. So glad to have added this one to the collection. He just looks so good. I really like Thor. I like the character. I like the way Chris Hemsworth did him in the movies. A little bit of comedy in there. So yeah, he's a really good looking fig. This is the other side of his head. No lightning eyes, but there's the lightning eyes there. Weird angle. Sorry about that, but it was the best way to show you the detail in the face there without the glare. So as we dive in and take a closer look at this, you can see the color better now. That blue definitely looks more blue as we get closer in. All these pieces were so fresh and brand new because they were still in sealed bags. They just really pop. I like that splash of orange in there too, on the windscreens or windows, as well as those turbines. It looks really good. Going back again to some of the play features, again, a lot of those hatches and areas do have opening functionality, and those turbines spin too, and they spin pretty nice. I don't know if it's just because these are all brand new pieces, but there's just something enjoyable about that. Lots of room inside. They put some detail into the interior here. You can fit all the minifigures except the two bad guys into the Quinjet, and there's even places for you to stow their weapons, which is a cool feature. And it's just nice to see so much detail in this set. Lots of detail up front. Again, you got the pilot's seat. It goes through. You got the little hallway or the doorway there to the back area where the other seats are. And in the very back, just a little earlier, there was a glimpse of that tricycle or trike. I think I called it a motorcycle earlier. I think it has 3 wheels if I remember correctly. But yeah, this was such a good deal, such a great pickup and find to have come across this at the thrift shop. And if I had known about this build when it came out originally, I think I would have been all over it. Happy to have found it now, even though it's years later. And although I don't usually have a ton of Marvel content in my collection, I typically tend to focus on Star Wars. I still have a liking for anything that just catches my eye and looks cool. And I am a Marvel fan, so I'm really happy to add this one to the collection, and I hope I can fit it in my display case. If you guys like this video, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Bye.